Alright, we're going to tear into this microwave today. First things first, got to modify my screwdriver to get the right bit on it because oftentimes microwaves feature security screws on them. You can see it here. It's a star pattern with a little dot in the middle you got to access. So now we're going to get it all set up and get to work. I want to be just like my father, but I also want all my fingers. Gloves on, safety first. Always really important that you get your magnet ready ahead of time, whether it be a standalone magnet, magnetic dish, or a tray. Something, something that you can throw those screws in as they start flying off. I forgot that ahead of time, so a big shout out to my shirt pocket. If you know me, you know that I love a Carhartt. The durability and reliability is unmatched, so putting it to work today. Once we get inside here, there's going to be a piece called the magnetron, and you guessed it, it has magnets. There's one slapped on either side, and they act as a vacuum cleaner. Once you get in there and you start taking off magnets, that thing will suck it right up. And so if you want any of those screws to retain for scrap value, you're going to have to shake that guy off afterward. And next up, we're going to peel this bad boy open. Magnetron transformer, that's the heavy bit. That's why all the weight lies right here. And this red braided cable that comes off the transformer and off of this capacitator in here up to the magnetron. This is the first thing we're going to cut. We're going to cut this, and that's going to make sure that all of the charge, it's just a precautionary. I've heard some scrapping legends say that there could be a little charge left in here, so the first thing we want to do is deactivate that if it's even present. But as a precautionary ahead of time, my first step with any electronic is always to leave it unplugged, no matter how old or wet or anything like that it looks when I encounter it. I always leave it just unplugged in an open enough space for well over 24 hours. You know, at least 24 hours. Then as soon as you get around to it. Just to make sure that there's nothing lingering in there, and then I cut this cord first. So, let's do that. Fingers crossed. Just kidding, I'm totally fine. Alright. The copper begins. Next thing we're going to do is take out the transformer and the magnetron. Probably easiest to unload the magnetron first so it's off of the frame, because then we're going to flip this bad boy over, unscrew those screws in the transformer there, and that heavy sucker's just going to fall right out, and we don't want it to crush anything in here. Some fragile aluminum fins as well as some dusty ceramic bits that we do not want to crush. And let's take care of that. Have to find them later. I try to count the screws that I drop so that I remember what to pick up later, so it doesn't sit on the ground. There's a semi-tractor trailer coming through, so catch you later. A reason why I don't feel secure without a shirt pocket. Right, so there's the magnetron. We're gonna take this apart in a couple clips, and this box right here has a bit of copper in it. Some aluminum fins if you're really feeling up to the job, but it's kind of a pain in the rear. Up to you though. Totally always am an advocate of time-consuming scrapping. There is a brass ring here. It kind of just looks like a mesh fabric, but it is actually brass, turns out. Some more copper always attached to the brass connectors in there we'll get rid of, or rather salvage. And once we take off this little coppery tin box that's interesting and trying to open, we'll have access to these magnets if you're interested in keeping the magnets. As you can see, mine are already at work. One of the screws that I told you I was counting is in there. So I'll take one off of my count, bringing it to 5 that I have to search for. Oh, 4, because one landed in my pocket. Bless that shirt pocket. And you do want to tape this off before we tear into this at all, but we'll get into that later. Time for that transformer. And what's funny is, I don't know if you can see, but it's a windy day. Definitely proves that I need to voice over this. But I think that's really funny. The fan is blowing in the wind. Definitely worth resetting the tripod over. So, transformer is a big square black. Probably remember. And now we have these 4 screws right here. So that big block transformer, perfect square up there, or cube rather, is those 4 screws right there is what we're working on right now. Alright, so the one side's released. It's already giving me a little kickback on that screw. 2 screws I was talking about earlier sitting around the top of these vents. It's funny all these little things that happen throughout the process. Maybe get a moderate little thud on this guy once I release him. Always, I try not to make excuses to wait to pick up my screws, nuts, and bolts, nails, things, anything. If the shrapnel falls, you gotta account for it, because I'm lucky enough to use another person's space right now, and it's a lot of people's space, so I gotta take care of it and make sure that, you know, the things that make me money don't cost other people money. Anyway, on to the last. A little anticlimactic, so we'll make the thud ourselves. it, folks. One unknown metal inside transformer. Let's see how much more time we are going to spend on this guy. Will it be copper? Will it be aluminum? I can tell you, in my experience and from what I've learned, microwaves will have one aluminum coil. That's this fat, luscious, perfect looking one right there. It looks like the Jumbotron at a hockey rink, if you ask me. At least I always think of Transformers when I'm at a hockey game, looking at the Jumbotron. And then, potentially, one of two options. This little spool up here is either gift wrapped for us because it's copper, or we'll do the scratch test and it could also be aluminum. And if it's aluminum, we will throw it away. Just kidding, we won't throw it away. What's the point of that? Can't you see we recycle here? We will not throw it away. We will throw it to our light steel pile. My scrapyard gives light steel for these if they're filled with aluminum. Hoping that it's copper, because most people, I feel like when I see them talking about Transformers and giving tutorials on them, they talk about them like it's their favorite thing to, it's just like a little demolition moment that you get, you get to get scrappy with it and do good. So, these are fun to scrap. So, aside from the value of the copper inside, here's hoping that this is copper, so that I get to tear these open. So, that'll be another video. As long as you guys love this one, that is. Like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you're loving it. The rest, we're pretty much done with this part of the unit, honestly. What we are going to do is take off the rest of the copper that is very obvious. So, copper wires, I'm pulling them out. Just yanking at them, cutting them, whatever you want or gotta do to get to it. Everyone's a little bit different, but they're all also the same. Nice copper spool there that we're gonna get to. Probably just gonna grab the needle nose and rip at them, wiggle it out like a big old copper molar. I just went to the dentist yesterday, actually, and I would like to say at the ripe age of 32, almost 33 in a couple months, I am cavity free. And I am just blessed for that. Now I'm gonna go knock on some wood, because that's not something you want to play with. Cavity free since 91. Alright, let's back to it. My camera battery is running low, so now my personal challenge is pretend I'm in the pits at NASCAR for microwaves and see how much time lapse I don't have to do for this part because I go way too fast. You know how it is when it shouldn't be that hard. Got the cord nice and flush, always nice. Makes you feel like you know your moves or something. At least for a moment. Alright. So here we have the wiring harness for the microwave unit, complete with copper molar. can't get at it. Well, there she is, most way. Clean that off when I'm not in a parking space. Well, I guess I will clean off the parking space because the patient is ready. It's falling off. Alright, so a little copper nugget for you. We get to undo. That is number 1 because it is 16 gauge, the width of a pencil lead. But we will double check that with our wire stripper soon. Anyway, this is all set. Everything in here is magnetic. And the aluminum capacitator, my scrapyard personally can't do anything with it, so it is going in as light steel. Oh, there are a few brackets here. Got some copper nubs, copper brackets. Take off these transistors. Copper connections usually are like the brass ones, but these ones are copper. And there is a small version of a transformer in here. And that's a nice copper spool for you, a little angel hair if you're into it. Equal copper enthusiast over here, so. And then there is one more motor that I should probably use my screwdriver for. When in doubt, yank it out, but if the screw is there, use your screwdriver. If the screw is there, strip it bare? Never. Never a welcome time. Alright, anyway. That fan that we were ogling at earlier, at least I was, has a motor in it. So, I'm going to take that motor out because I think this is old enough. It looks like copper, but we're going to do the scratch test on everything that we see today. And, well, I scratched the copper molar and I can confirms that it is copper. But this is copper. We're going to rip it off. If it was aluminum, which they have been in the past for me, I would just take these two off, remove the motor like I'm going to do anyway, and throw this in my copper motor pile, or my electric motor pile. But, being that this is copper from the looks of it, we will be scrapping that down. So, aside from that, that is the end of what we can do with the body of this lovely Welch West Bend microwave given to me by my mother-in-law. Super grateful. Friend of her, someone she knows, friend, family member, simultaneously as it turns out. They had a microwave hit the crapper and ended up in my landfill. Just kidding. But there is actually one more tiny little transformer right here. At least I call him a transformer. There's probably a better name for it. That yellow taped package. A lot of people consider them a waste of time, and I'm not saying they're not, but I am saying that they're fun to take apart like everything else in the world. So if you ever, you know, they don't take very long at all, and they're, it's therapeutic, stimulating, like, all the other stupid crap that we do all day that doesn't make us any money, but makes us spend money rather sometimes. There's copper in there, so go nuts. Thanks for watching. I keep failing to remember everything that there is on a microwave. So, once and for all, there is a little motor in here that is fun to take apart. Usually the best way to take care of it is by smashing that like button. Bingo bango. This is the motor that makes the turntable go around. I remembered it because I opened it to take the turntable out, and I thought, aha, we've forgotten the motor. So this, you're gonna, little tiny tabs here. I'm gonna open all those up, or just smash the heck out of them. And there's gonna be a copper motor in there. So, another thing you can look forward to when you are taking apart a microwave. I went to go recycle the glass turntable, and I realized this might be the only acceptable time to put metal in a microwave is when everything from your hall fits.